Good morning, Nation. John here. First and foremost, congratulations to Kayla Hinkle. Over on Telegram, the folks are telling me you learned how to can, and they wanted me to mention that. So there you go. Congrats on that. You got me beat when it comes to the canning. So, folks, let me start off by saying, what is the obsession? Have y'all seen these videos? Of course, some of you have. You've emailed them to me, but what is the obsession with these videos? These how much do they make videos, right? Where they take YouTubers and they try and break down exactly how much money they're making or whatever. I thought I had no social life until I saw these things. The first person that sent it to me, I thought it was a joke. I'm like, nah, there's no way. But then somebody else posted a video and I'm like, are y'all serious? So let me clarify, folks here at the Nation, how much am I making this week? The goose egg. The big old goose egg. This channel is not monetized yet. And the actual Prepper Nation channel, I'm not making a dime because I've been kicked off of it all week. So zero. And I'm not here for the money. Don't really care about it. But I tell you what I do care about. I care about seeing, I keep going over there and I continue to see comments that people are leaving on the last video, like, you know, where you at, John? What's up with Prepper Nation? Is Prepper Nation dead? This is the part that kills me. I have no way to reach out to these people. I try and reply to the comments they leave, but I don't know if they see them or not. And I hate the thoughts of having people that are used to a routine, because we have our own routine here, folks. We're used to waking up in the morning and the premiere crowd and all this stuff, and a lot of people still don't know what's going on. They think I've quit, or I've just gotten too busy for them or something like that. And that's the disheartening part. That's the part where Skynet has kicked me right in the balls. Not the money or anything like that. It's, I don't know. It's just upsetting. So anyway, we'll get into the food shortage here in a minute. I had a chance finally to sit down with my daughter and watch the movie The Purge. I got to watch for black snakes. It's time to mow, son. So I watched The Purge, and I got questions. Oh, do I have a lot of questions? Have y'all seen that movie? It's where, for those of you that haven't, I'm not trying to bore you here. It's where once a year, I think it was for 12 hours, people are allowed to go out and commit whatever, you know, to cleanse the oppressed feelings that they have inside. I thought that's what cry rooms were for, son. But I have questions. So Ethan Hawke is the main character of the first Purge. I've not seen the rest. I hear there's a bunch. I don't know if I'll go looking for the rest, to be honest. So Ethan Hawke's the main character. He sells defense systems, home defense systems. And he appears in this movie to be completely clueless. I mean, you literally have a day called the Purge, or a night rather, where all this stuff is happening each and every year. And you have one sidearm, one shotgun, and the security system that you have set up was pulled off by chains in a four-wheel drive truck, son. Nah, this whole movie is like a lesson in what not to do as a doomsday prepper. So if you haven't seen it and you watch it, just do the exact opposite. Tell your kids, number one, not to dress like they're an emo. And number two, don't leave the room, sneak the boyfriend in, open the door for random people. Just don't do it. This thing is off the charts stupid, son. So I just had to mention that, the Purge, the food shortage. Many of you have emailed and left comments here and also over at the main channel that I can't get to. I'm locked out of my own channel. It's nuts. But you're mentioning having seen Ice Age Farmer's video, which I sat down just a little while ago and watched it. Christian is all over that stuff. He always has been. People are emailing and they're asking, you know, is this for real? Is this really happening? And my reply would be, I don't know 100% for sure. But if Christian over at Ice Age Farmer says it's going on, it's going on. I trust the man. So again, he stays on top of that stuff. So apparently there was a hack and it affected the top meat supplier in the world. We've been saying Folks, I can remember being out here in this spot or somewhere similar this time last year, telling you folks, food, stack it to the rafter, son, food, it's coming. I promise you, the war on food is coming. We're entering the opening stages of it. It's gonna get much, much worse. All right, food is control. Food is everything. You can take a population of rowdy 1776ers, bluecoats, baby, and if they don't have food, you can take that crowd and you can use food to bring them over to your cause. You can make most people submit through food. Food is the weapon. When you hear me say food is the weapon, that is the reason why. I do think, and this is just my personal opinion, okay? Christian asked the question, is this something totally random or is this on purpose? I do think it's on purpose. I think there have been way too many coincidences over the past several months. Remember the ports that blew up? The port was packed with food. I don't remember where it was at. Y'all help me out on that. But it was a huge port. It was overseas. Just blew up. Boom. And they're like, oh my God, the food supply. I can remember ships for no reason filled with food sinking. I can remember trains just randomly, I think most of them were carrying corn, just derailing, son. And all of that food lost. And then I take a look at the regulations because of the C-19 that has been put on farmers, beef farmers, corn, etc., grain. It's insane what they have to jump through now, the hoops they have to go through in order to produce food, which tells me somebody doesn't want food being produced. And the reason for this, again, in my opinion, just my opinion, is because if you can control the food, you can control how much is being put out, you can control how it's being put out, where it's going, you have total control. And that's what this thing is about. From the standpoint of prepping, most of you should be prepped by now. You should have enough food, okay? But if you don't, you might want to get some. The whole thing with food is, people say, well, do I really need to get more food? And I'm guilty of this. I'll stack it to the rafters a couple times over, and then I'll go to Ice Age Farmer. I'll be set. I'm like, you know what, son, you good to go. And on my coffee cup. Get off here, son. I'm good to go, right? I've got it stacked to the rafters here and here and here. And then I go to Ice Age Farmer and I listen to Christian. I'm like, I ain't got enough food, man. I got to look into some more food. For some people who homestead, the reality is if you're good enough and you have enough land, you can produce your own food, at least until they show up, with rifles and tell you not to do so anymore. For the rest of us, like my land here, I don't know that if you can tell it, but it's like, I can't do a lot of gardening here. It's at the bug out, it's a little better, but not much. And that was one of my screw ups when I was getting a place. Neither here nor there. The point is, stack food. At the very least, the food that you buy right now is going to cost more this time next year. I don't know that there's ever been a time in history when you go in, you buy food, and you sit on it for a year, not literally, that's kind of morbid, and you're sitting on your stash for a year, and then you go back into the store and you're like, man, I lost money. I paid more for this food last year than it costs now. That's never the case, all right? The price always goes up. The portion sizes usually go down, especially right now. So continue to stack food. Even if you think you have enough food, and again, I'm right there with you, consider stacking more. Maybe splurge and get some emergency food. If you've stacked heavy on the Mylar stuff like the beans and the rice, some people do cereal. I don't really Mylar cereal just because it doesn't last as long. A 5-gallon bag of cereal to me is not lasting as long as a 5-gallon bag of beans. That's just my, my personal opinion on that. So I don't waste time with the cereals. But even if you have Food My Lard and you have tons of canned food, consider getting some emergency survival food, maybe even MREs if you can afford them, but they are more pricey. Start thinking long term shelf life, okay? Bringing us back to the Purge. These people are idiots. I don't know how these people can be. The acting sucked in the movie outside of Ethan Hawke. And I'm like, where's the food? As a prepper, I'm watching this movie. I'm like, okay, where's the food? Where are the rest of the boomsticks? Dude, you only have 2? Are you kidding me? You want to have plenty of food. You want to have boomsticks, obviously. I would have the Purge, I would have did it differently. But as far-fetched of a movie as the Purge is, it's still plausible in certain areas of our country, because they continue to hammer away the fact, defund the police, defund the police. You guys know the spill. There are certain areas of certain cities in this country now where every single night probably feels like the Purge, where there's just complete lawlessness. And I don't understand the reasoning for people staying there, but I'm sure they have their reasons. So it's not for me to judge. But if you're in one of these areas, please do it better than Ethan Hawke did. Please secure your home much better. Maybe watch the movie for reference if you haven't seen it already. I don't know. I'm on a Purge kick today, son. Thank y'all very much for being here. If you happen to talk to anybody from the nation, I don't know, maybe you guys are friends on Facebook, Twitter, whatever, and they don't know that we're over here on the Backup channel this week. Don't hammer them into subscribing over here. That's not what it's about. Just let them know, please, that I haven't quit posting and that I'm still trying to make time as I can. I just don't want people getting the wrong impression, okay? All right, God bless y'all. I'll talk to you tomorrow.